Dufal Ross Sweepy, and my presentation will be on the Narco Culture, a rising culture that's sweeping across Mexico and Central America. According to the FBI and the CIA, that this is the biggest threat to our security. The drug war. Drug cartels came in power in the 1970s and 1980s when the war was declared on them. The drug cartels are responsible for thousands and tens of thousands of murders, kidnapping, rape, and aggravated assault weapon charges, narcotic distribution, and narcotic manufacture. As you can see, that this is their main goal, as money, of course, fueled by greed and control and power with the use of narcotics. It is pretty normal and regular for drug cartels to use intimidations and such as body dismemberments, which is nothing new. As you can see in the picture depicted here, that thousands and thousands of bodies have been found dismembered, with heads being dismembered and body extremities. If you think that it only happens across the border, guess again. In October 3rd,
they are dealing with a very unique and disturbing case.
Very disturbing. A dismembered body was discovered near the Brazos River on Highway 290, and at this point, investigators just do not have a lot to go on. Eyewitness News reporter Elisa Rivas is live near that scene. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning. It's this stretch of 290 that leads to that area where that dismembered body was discovered. We are waiting to hear more from investigators about the identity of the person found by two fishermen at the Brazos River and the 290 bridge. We have video of the activity of the investigation as it began yesterday following that discovery around 4:30 in the afternoon at the Waller-Washington County line. Two fishermen found a dismembered body, and the Waller County Sheriff's Office, as well as the Texas Rangers, responded to that scene for the investigation yesterday. And as I mentioned, it was a dismembered body. There is much work.
As you can see, that it is coming across our border, and it is here today. But is it something new? Is it something new for people in Central and South America to treat each other this way? According to history, the Mayans, Toltecs, and Aztecs actually performed the same thing in ancient South America more than 3,000 years ago. The Latino culture believes in the Day of the Dead, and their belief in the dead is just as much as their belief in life and deity. And this is closely tied to their religious beliefs. On each November 1st and November 2nd of every year, the Day of the Dead is observed in South and Central America, as depicted in these pictures here. That celebration is their equivalency of our Halloween here in the United States. As recovered in the remains of Aztecs and Mayan ancient ruins, there are thousands and tens of thousands of human remains and human bones and body parts. As you can see, that they believe just as much in the dead as in life. Again, this is closely tied to their narco saints, in which they pray to as narco traffickers and drug traffickers. They have incorporated their belief in the dead and also in their religious and deity belief. One of the main narco saints that narco traffickers pray to and use is Santa Muerte. Santa Muerte is as you can see here, is a depiction of the female sculpture, skeletal culture, dressed up in all these fancy gold, bright colored clothing. And as you can see in this one, these two bags are gold coins. They use this narco saint as their prayer of healing and also for protection in their narco trafficking. There is a new fashion that is coming up on this with music and their type of clothes that these narco traffickers, especially in the Mexico and Honduras areas, in which they identify themselves with. And I play the type of music that is coming up and the type of music that they use.
Ahora sí, Papa Ghost. What do you want me to put in your song? ¿Qué calibre carga? 9 milli. Alright. You could see people with their guts coming out from their stomach, their heads on off 24/7.
Yo sabía y sé el riesgo que lleva cada uno de nosotros como peritos. En este año, 3 compañeros atentaron contra su vida, nuestros familiares, que me dijeron.
Es lo mejor sí. Si tienes dinero, haces lo que quieres.
I think we can be the next hip-hop. There's hundreds of clubs in the United States playing this music. They sing about bloodshed. I like violence. I want to live over it. For a bit. Glorify these guys. That's why Narco Culture has grown so much, because these guys see narcos as a modern day drug
Es una forma de vida, no es nada malo. Tal vez sí es algo malo, pero es una forma de vida.
In this world, everybody wants respect. And in Mexico, there's no other way to win respect than pick up an AK and do what you gotta do. Look up to that type of person. They stay alive through the music. Somos sanguinarios, locos, bien odiados, nos gusta matar. Canta.
as you can see, that they have their own music. They're singing about killing people, blowing each other up with rocket launchers, cutting people's head off and chopping them. And this is the glorification of narco trafficking and narco drug kingpins and cartel that the young generation is seeing and that they're glorifying. You can identify some of the clothing that they use. They will have their own brand. As you can see, this Polo Ralph Lauren logo here with a man holding an AK-47. They like to dress themselves up as cowboys, and their boots are pretty distinct. That's the style the fashion that they're moving towards. And like I said, as I mentioned earlier in the beginning of my presentation, that this is the greatest threat to our national security. Right on the border is our narco trafficking. And so to complete my video, this is something that needs to be addressed. We're seeing it more and more as law enforcement come across these narco saints, shrines of Santa Muerte and other shrines of narco saints such as Jesus Malrede, Saint Hudad Tadeo, and Saint San Ramon. And so this is just the beginning of the narcotic culture, closely, especially coming from across the border from Mexico and South and Central America. And thank you.